up, YouTubers? Welcome back to my channel, YouTubers. This one's gonna be about gauges. If you ever had any trouble hooking up gauges, I'm gonna help you out. I know sometimes the instructions could be a little complicated, but once you get a understanding on what they're trying to say, depending on where the gauges came from, usually the ones that be a little complicated is the one from China. I'm not knocking China, ain't nothing wrong with China, but sometimes their instructions could be a little confusing. Right. And there's English, American instructions that could be a little confusing also. But I'm gonna show you where you can hook up your wires to get your gauge going. These gauges are from what's that dang on company, man? Pro Sport. Yeah, these are Pro Sport Halo. These are, as you can see, they're pretty cool. They alright. You know what I'm saying? They alright. You can change the colors and all that, but it's not a review on these gauges. I'm just trying to show y'all that they are hooked up, and I'm gonna show you how I hooked them up. Okay, so bear with me. I'm gonna turn these memo jammers off. Okay, they're going bye-bye. All right, here we go. Now these are the actual instructions to those gauges that I just showed you, and these instructions was pretty straight to the point. You know, these are some of the best instructions that I come across when it comes to gauges. And as you can see, these colors is actually in corresponding to the wires. You got a red wire, a black wire, and an orange wire, and it's telling you straight up, hey look man, put the red wire to a constant 12-volt power all the time. So what is power all the time? Power all the time is something that stays on even though your car is off. Even though the ignition it turned to the off position. So something that stays on all the time would be if you have power door locks. That's constant 12 volt. You can unlock your car door even though the car is off. What's another one? Your horn. Your horn will honk even though your car is off. Dome lights. Your dome lights, they'll come on even though your car is off. So those are like 3 different power sources that you want to tap into that's on, that gets power all the time. So that red wire, that's where you want to put it, to your horn fuse, to your door lock fuse, to your dome light fuse, something of that nature. And then black is ground. Ground is any metal of the car that's not painted. It got to be bare metal, and you want to tap that wire into that ground. Whether it's, if you say for instance you look under your dashboard and you see a screw or a bolt that's screwed into metal, all you have to do is unloosen that screw or that bolt, put that wire in between that nut or that screw, tighten it back up. That'll be a good ground. And that's usually what I do. I'm gonna show you, hopefully my ground is exposed. Sometimes I put my grounds like tucked away. So I'm gonna show you examples in a moment on my car where I put my wires to hook up this gauge. And that's telling you black go to ground and orange go to it's telling you straight up, headlights or tail lights, a power source that only has power when the lights are on. So it's telling you this, you want to put to something that's give power when the lights are on. So the best thing to do is put it straight to that headlight or tail light fuse. So then it'll be operated by a switch, not the ignition switch, but by a switch of you turning on the headlight switch. So I like these instructions. They pretty simple and straight to the point, but you're not always gonna get instructions like this. That's why I used these instructions as an example. And got a white wire. It's telling you the white wire go to 12-volt ignition power with the key on. Oh, I love these instructions. It's telling you guys, hey look, this goes to a power source that turns on when the key turn on. This goes to your headlights or your tail lights. This go to ground. This goes to something that always on even though your car is off. This is how you make instructions. You know what, Pro Sport Halo series, you guys is all right. Now I'm gonna show you what I did to hook up these gauges. Now, as you can see, all of these gauges, these two is different ones. You got your oil pressure, your water pump, and over here you got the wideband. But as you can see, it's all the same. Most gauges you hook up the same. The color of the wires might be a little different. Like for instance, if you had a tack, I had tacks where instead of that wire being orange, it was white. Put the white wire to the headlights or the tail lights. You know, if you hooked up a radio, you got a red wire, and then sometimes that the yellow wire is the constant power, and then the red wire go to switch power. So it depends on what you're hooking up, and the instructions or the color of the wires may be different. But for these, pretty much all the same. You know, you can see down here, same thing. So I'm gonna show you how did I hook up these gauges. And for instance, you can see these two gauges, they hook up the same way. If you have both of these gauges, you don't have to do, how can I say, you don't have to hook these two up individually. What I usually do, I tap into each other. Luckily, these gauges, they already come with a port on the back to where you can, it comes with a cable. Matter of fact, it's telling you right here, if you wanted to tap into another gauge, come on, phone. Man, don't do this to me, phone. Don't do this to me. It's trying to get a little better. But right here, it's telling you there's a harness. See, say this power wire will connect to next gauge if installing more than one gauge. These gauges is legit. So remember I was saying you can tap into each other. What I usually do, if I had two gauges, you hook them up the same way, even if the wires are different. Say like these was two different gauges. Well, if this gauge say the power wire is red, but the other gauge say the power wire is yellow, okay, then you splice that yellow wire into this red wire, and then say ground over here is black and ground on the other gauge is brown. Okay, then you put that brown to the black wire. So they don't necessarily have to be the same color. Just make sure they have to run off the same power source. So, but luckily with these gauges, you don't even have to do all that. If you go use these two gauges, they telling you, look, wire one to your fuse box, and the other one we have a adapter or a cable, a wire harness that'll just go from one gauge to the other. The power you're getting from this gauge through this harness, it'll power the next gauge, and it'll make it a whole lot easier for you. You don't have to wire two gauges. But in case your gauge don't come with something like this, just do what I say. Take these two, and if, like I said, if this power wire is yellow and this one is red, all right, splice these yellow and the red together. If this ground wire is black and this was brown, all right, splice the black and brown wire together. If this one say light source is orange and this one say light source is white, all right, the orange and the white wire, splice them together. So that way, when you hook these wires to your fuse box, because the next gauge is already spliced into it, the power go get to this gauge also, and you can turn them both on without having to individually wire each gauge onto a separate fuse and turn on two gauges. Just splice them into each other. So I'm gonna show you how I did it underneath the car in my fuse box. Hopefully my phone focuses so you can see where I'm coming from. All right, so before you try to wire this thing up, you want to take off your fuse panel and look at where everything is. Come on, phone. There we go. All right, so it's telling you this fuse right here is for the radio, this one's for your headlights. Remember, one of them had to go to headlights. These two is for headlights. Then you got turn light and tail light. Remember, one of them had to go to tail light. And then it was something that needed to be constant, which is, I was saying, the horn fuse, or for instance, backup lights. Your backup lights will come on even though the car is off. You step on the brake. I don't know what was right here. It's dirty right there. But you're looking for something that's constant. Power windows. So if you need a constant Not a constant. Power windows don't work when the car is off. I'm tripping. Interior light. So that's like dome light. If you want something constant, then you can use the interior light, which is right there. So we pretty much already done found all the fuses we need to get these gauges to work. We got the switch power radio. Your radio only come on when you turn the ignition on, so that's your switch power, which was the white wire. It said power with key on, so that'll be your radio. Boom, put the white wire to the radio fuse. You already know ground go to metal. I'll see if I can find some metal up under here. Orange wire go to headlight or tail light. We got headlights right here, and we also have tail lights right underneath it. My phone getting blurry. So there we go. So we have tail lights right underneath it, and that's pretty much all we need right there. So constant 12 ground, headlights and tail light. That constant 12, like I say, you can use your interior light, which is dome light. So that's pretty much all we need. But I'm gonna show you somewhere else you can use also to steal power from without actually pulling out fuses and tapping wires into fuses. But usually you can only use maybe 1 or 2 gauges on what I'm about to show you, and the rest you just gonna have to tap into a fuse. So here we go. When we look up under here, you can see that you have some wires that goes up under the panel, and you got some that goes to fuses and some that goes to these male pins right here. Now I want to say most cars have these up here. At first, when I first starting to learn mechanic, I didn't know what these was for. I ignored them. I always found a fuse. But then a friend who was a mechanic already, and he had more knowledge than me, he was telling me those was put there from the manufacturer for accessories. They actually was kind of looking out for us. It's like, hey, look, if you want to add something to this car that's not originally on the car and you need some power, you can go into these right here. Or if you don't want to go into those, you can do it the old school way and just put a wire to a fuse. So let me show you how. Now this is a test light right here. Got a test light, and it's grounded back there. Follow the tip of this bad boy. You hear what I say? That's the alligator clip. It's grounded on metal. When I say metal, you see how this alligator clip is just grounded right there, or you got a nut right here. All this is bare metal. If you want to loosen that nut, put a wire behind it, tighten it back up, that could be your ground. Or that one right there, that could be your ground. I grounded mine behind this plastic, so you're not able to see it, but I just wanted to show you. Hopefully I can show you guys this without so each one of these pins, oh, this is gonna be hard, but let's see if I can get it. Trying to hold my phone. Hopefully I don't drop it. All right, there we go. I can hold it with my left hand. All right, each one of these pins right here has power to it at different times. So what you want to do, you want to get a test light and you want to touch it. So I'm touching this one. Test light not glowing. It's not glowing. You see I'm touching, not glowing. I needed to glow. Yeah. Boom. Touching it, not glowing. So these two don't have no power. This one. Touching it, not glowing. No power right there. Ooh, the wire look like it's coming out. I think I done broke it. Whatever. Right here. Right there. Touching it, not glowing. So all of these don't have power with the key off, okay? Touch this one. Let me get up in there. Boom. See that light come on? That's your constant 12 right there. How they say constant 12, the car is off, the key is out, and this got power. So that wire that need a constant 12 volts, you would get you a female, what you call them things, man? Get you a female, I forgot what you call these, but you will put a female on the end of the wire and then just slide it over that pin, and boom, you got your constant right there. And then these right here, like I say, they wasn't glowing, but I'm gonna turn the key and see which one turned on. All right, you're gonna have to excuse the beeping. I turned the key and we're gonna see which one glow now. Which one glow? Boom, you see? That one's lighting up. Before, with the key off, it didn't light up. So now we got power on that one. This one still don't have power. This one still don't have power. That one still. And let's try. Let's see if I can touch that. There we go. This one still have power. So I already knew this one should have power because it was constant with the key out. So with the key turned to the first position, the only one that got power was this one. Okay. So that one got power now. Okay. Now I'm gonna turn the key to the all the way forward, second position. All right, you heard the fuel pump kick in and all that good stuff. So now the key is all the way forward. We're gonna see what turns on now. All right, let's see. Boom, we got a light on that one. This one still don't have light, so I don't know what to deal with that one. Should have turned on by now. That one is useless. But that's the good thing about a test light. Let's see, come on, phone, don't do that to me. There we go. All right, we go test this orange one. If I can get it in there. That one don't have no power. Okay. And then this one don't have no power. So it looked like, I didn't forgot, but one of them turned off with the second position. This one has got power, which has always had power. So that's why you need a test light to find out which one has power and when it has power. It has power with the key off, to have power in the first position, to have power in the second position. So these will actually help you out. Your 12 constant is right here. Which one do you light up with the key for? Look, this one right here. Remember it said one of the wires needed switch power. There's your switch power right here. You can put one of the wires right here, so when you turn the key forward, you get power. Remember, this one didn't have power with the key off, so this could be your switch power. This one would be your constant power, and the other ones just need to go to the headlight or tail light switch. So reason you want to put it there because these gauges have lights on them. So when you turn your headlight on, it'll trigger the gauge to turn on the background light, or it'll trigger the gauge to dim the light, because it's just a signal to tell the gauge, okay, it's nighttime, you don't need to be so bright. So it's either, if you have gauges that always have a light and you hook it to the light fuse or one of these switches, it's just telling the gauge, okay, it's nighttime, he got the headlights on, dim a little bit so you don't be blinding him. And that's where these come in. As you can see, it lit up. I touched that. So I got more than one gauge. I got 3 of them. So some of them is hooked up top, but when you don't find what you need up top, it's time to start diving into the fuses. And I'm only using one fuse down here, matter of fact. And I'm gonna show you how you tap into a fuse whenever you hook a wire into it. Bear with me. All right, so I pulled that out, and this is all I did. I took a wire and wrapped it around one leg. Let's see if I can get this to focus. Focus a little more. Maybe not. Let's see. Yeah, there you go. Kind of, sort of. But all I did was take this wire, wrap it around one leg. You don't need to wrap it around both. Wrap it around one leg, so in case this fuse pop, it no longer get power. Okay, so just wrap it around one leg and then just push it back up in there. I don't know if I can do that, but we gonna try. We gonna give it a shot. Where's the hole at? Is that the hole? Yep, that's the hole. And then you just push it back in there. As you can see, my gauge is turned on right now. Now I gotta reset them. You hear them beeping? I gotta reset my gauges because I just pulled out the power source right there. So that's how you tap into a fuse when you trying to wire a gauge or something like that. Alright, so that's how you wire up a tack. Hopefully the video is clear enough to where it got an understanding of how to do it. And those prongs that wouldn't light up when I turned the key, my phone actually overheated because I had the light on my phone and was recording. And I found out that they turned on when I turned the headlight switch. They ended up getting power. So like I say, most cars have it. My Camaro has it. It's 40 years old and it has extra pins in there where you can tap into them without actually wiring stuff to the fuse. So the cars that I've seen, I done had numerous of Hondas. They all had it, and then my Camaro have it. So if you have those, get a test light and touch them with the key off, touch them with the key turned to the first click, touch it to the key turned to the second click, and also touch them with your headlight switch on and off to see when they get power and when they don't get power. And you can tap into those without messing with the fuses. And if you have any questions, just leave them in the comment section and I'll help you. If you got gauges you having trouble getting them, we go get them going. I'm gonna help you get them gauges lit up. So like, subscribe, like I said, and catch me in the next one. I holla. Got my little buddy right here, my teammate. He makes, oh, I'm sorry, my light kind of bright. All right, bye.